here's a dancer, Danny. And we hit it off almost immediately. He loved dance, and he'd always be in an opening number with us. And then since he liked dance, we had a steady group of dancers on the show. And whenever, he said, whenever you have an idea that you want to do in dance, just do it and then let me know when it's finished and I'll introduce it. He didn't say, I want to be in it, like so many of them would do. Danny said, no, I'll just introduce and let the dancers do it. And we'd rehearse at CBS, and right next door was Judy Garland, and often Judy would come in to our rehearsals and say, Tony, your rehearsals are a lot more interesting than what's going on in my rehearsal. So she'd sit there, and then Danny would come in, they'd chat while we were rehearsing. So we had a real community going there. But I would come up with ideas and do it, and fortunately the director was an ex-dancer. Bob Shear, of course, he was in Lindoneer on Broadway with Gower Chapman. So I could easily talk to him about choreography and dancing. So Danny would look at the number. I said, Danny, I have something. I'd come in the rehearsal hall, and I'd say, dancers, let's do it. And here's the star of his show watching dancers perform without him in it, and with nothing for him to do. It was fine with him. So we would always present a separate dance work whenever I had one ready. And out of that came some wonderful dance numbers. But I never won an Emmy for all those great dance numbers because choreography had been dropped as a category.
Oh, you're kidding.
From the Academy. I couldn't believe it.
Do you know why?
No. Oh, too many. Yeah, they were giving out too many Emmys.
Jeez.
So they owe me one.
Well, now because you had this regular group of dancers, and Danny was such a good dancer, you obviously created some dances for him, but how crazy could you get? Could you just create really great over-the-top kind of things?
Oh, yes. In the dance numbers that we did, we went from dancing to Lawrence of Arabia, a very television impressionistic feeling of the desert and all that, to Aaron Copland's Pink Pony. Roy Fitzell was a very good ballet dancer, so I featured him in this Pink Pony. And incidentally, it was that piece that we did was put into a demonstration video package that was sent to Russia to show what was happening on television in America. They had collected things from different shows. I don't know who was behind it, but I was informed that the Aaron Copland piece was also in that package to go to Russia. And I could go then from very bizarre, futuristic things, and Danny loved it. And so did the dancers. And now I have 2 reels of just the dances. And I think it was on Danny's show, a spotlight dance with Gwen Verdon, where she's alone in a forest, and a little spotlight like Tinkerbell comes, and she dances with that. And they play catch with one another. Charming little thing, and it worked very well. Danny loved it all. We adored Gwen. So did we all. And there was one other thing with Danny. Oh, Danny, rehearsing, was so prone to accidents. I mean, he bumped. If there was something in the way, he'd be sure to bump it. It was just, being damaged, something, bruised. What happened, Danny? Oh, something, always being bruised. But in cases and sketches, I often would be Danny while he was not at rehearsal. And we had a shipboard scene in one when everything was rocking. And at one point, his chair had to rock right out some swinging doors. And I said, I better try that first. So the prop people there, and I get into the chair, and I'm doing the rocking, and I go through the door, and I carefully avoided my elbows from hitting the door, and I said, I can do it, but it's very close. I think you have to widen this door a little bit for Danny, or he's going to lose an arm. So they widened. How much? And we measured, and about that should be good. And but hour so later when it's all widened, I come in and do it. I said, oh, I think you should get through that fine. And then just as I did that, my assistant, Dick Beard, came in. He said, oh, sure, you can do it fine, but wait till the porcelain princess gets here. So every time he has an accent, we say, there goes the porcelain princess again. He got through the door fine, though.
Actually, you did perform on his show because of something similar to that. Is that the case?
Oh, dear. That was, can you believe that was? The origination of that was right here in this house one evening when the director was over and a few of the staff, again, having one of our little staff say, let's go over for dinner. Danny was a good cook and would often ask me for dinner. I'm digressing a bit. After rehearsal, he'd say, hey, Charmoli, come over to my house for dinner. I said, when? Now, right from rehearsal. I said, just a minute. Stand in line. I need a 2-week notice, Danny. And I did that. Otherwise, I'd be going to dinner at his house every night. But I don't want, after all day long, you'd want to get away. But this time, this party, he said, we'll go to your house this time, and he'll cook. He was going to make spaghetti and all that. Well, in the kitchen was my Ernestine, and his man was in the kitchen, and they were kind of helping get stuff together. I was in the kitchen doing something with him, but Danny was really he was cooking spaghetti. And came time, cut. Spaghetti's ready. He's taking it off the stove, and I happened to be in the kitchen at the time when I said, Danny, look at Ernestine's here, or his man, I forgot his name. I said, let them do that. He said, no, I'm cooking dinner. He brings over to the sink and pours it, and the steam burns his hand, and this boiling hot water pours into his boot. Oh, imagine the pain. He wore these funny little space shoes that we call, that were tough to really land on the moon with those, Danny, into the shoe with this. It wasn't splashed off, it went into, oh dear. So, of course, it went into shock immediately. He said, I'm all right, I'm all right. Bobby Shear was here, and we got ice and put a big bowl of ice and put his foot in it and kept it there. And I said, should we get you home? Should we get a doctor? No, I'm fine. And of course, he later on starts getting chilly. He ate, and then he said, I think I should go home now. So his driver was here, his man, and he drove him home. And he said on the way, just before he got to his house near the Beverly Hills Hotel, he was on the ceiling with pain. And Danny always wanted to be a doctor, so he knows a great deal. He has a doctor immediately handy, and of course they came and took care of him. But now what to do about the show? And I had staged a dance song with Jerry Lewis.
Yeah.
And so Danny said, well, I can do the show if I can keep my foot up. And so he's all in a cast and bandaged and all. And so we said, we can do this if you're going to do the show. Indeed, he came, we did the show, and said, Sherry will start with you sitting down and sing the song. Now you sing with her. You can sing while you're, and I'll put her on this side. And then the minute you finish the song, she steps in with me, and I do the dancing with her. And then we end in the song, and she'll dance over to you again and finish the song with you. And that's how we did the number. So then he said, I was supposed to do that. That was me up there, but it was Tony. And that's the last time I performed on TV.
Oh, that was it entirely.
I've never been on TV again.